song list for Hatsune Miku Project DIVA MEGAMIX, or MEGA39, as known in Japan. This is basically a Project DIVA game from taking the songs, a lot of the songs, from the PlayStation 4 version of Project DIVA Future Tone and bringing them over to the Nintendo Switch. So because the song list is now available from the returning songs from the PlayStation game, I wanted to quickly go over the songs that are actually in the game so everybody can actually see them. There are actually 238 songs from the PlayStation 4 version, but apparently only 90 or so songs are returning in the base game. If you pre-order the game in Japan, you actually get 4 extra songs, and as I go down the song list, you'll be able to see which ones. So starting out with a couple of the basic songs. So what I've done here, basically, just to break it down, I've put them on my favorite list so you can see the 95 songs that are returning that are actually confirmed to be in. This being basically the first one, and we'll go down the list as such. Basically, if you see the song playing in the background, it's been confirmed that it's already there. I'll be putting in the comment section a list for the official Sega list so you can be able to see it. But actually, the interesting part is that most of these songs seem to be some of the newer ones, let's say, that have actually shown up in the Vita versions of the game, some of the 3DS ones. But actually, the, let's say, longer in the tooth ones from like the PSP days didn't seem to have made the cut. And actually, some of my own favorite songs didn't make the cut either. So, which is interesting. Definitely all of the DLC songs that you saw on the PlayStation 4 did make the cut. And all of the songs that already had, let's say, some of the visual look that the Switch version is actually going to have, some of those games are already on the PS4, and they also made the cut, interestingly enough. So what they ended up leaving out were a lot of the older songs that, let's say, a lot of the fans, were hoping for. This one specifically, for example, is you have to pre-order the game in Japan to be able to get a voucher code and then download it on the Japanese eShop. But interestingly enough, like I said, some of the older, more fan favorite songs didn't make the cut. Their idea so I believe during Tokyo Game Show in Japan, they had a couple of interviews, and they spoke a lot about how two of the developers spoke a lot about how the decisions that they came to when putting the song list together for the Switch version was that they wanted to kind of overall pick songs that were representing Miku songs through the entire generation of all the games. Like, for example, this one being the newest one that came out on PS4 when DX came out. But looking back at now the song list, as I scroll down, you're able to see which ones actually made the cut. This is another pre-order one if you have to pre-order it from Japan. Actually, going through the song list, a lot of, I probably repeat now. I've repeated 3 times. Some of the older songs are just straight up missing, and I'm gonna try to go over that once I finish the full 91 song list that's available in the base game. But there's 4 more that are pre-order only, and then there's the 10 new songs which obviously aren't in the PlayStation 4 version yet. They will be made available in the future via download on the PlayStation 4. So I'm not sure if they're going to be sold separately or they're going to actually put out another separate package for the PS4 owners. They haven't made that clear yet, I don't think. They just keep talking about the Switch version, which is going to have the 91 returning songs, 10 new songs, and then on top of that, 4 pre-order songs. So it's unclear actually what's going to happen with, let's say, the other 140 songs or so from the PS4 version of Project DIVA DX, Future Tone DX. Are they actually eventually gonna, bring those over to the Switch version, or what? What are their plans? Because they seem to be the older songs from the arcade and PSP, I'm not sure if they're actually going to invest the time and effort to bring them over. They haven't even said anything about a season pass or anything like that. So it'll be interesting to end up seeing what they end up doing. And even on top of all that, I'm talking, all of this is just about the Japanese version of the game, which actually comes out in February. The Western version, we have no idea when that's coming out. So this is actually the end of the list of the songs that they've confirmed. And if we actually go through so basically any song that doesn't have the little heart in the middle, for example, this song isn't in the game as of now. And I'll be going through the list of the songs that aren't in it. And it's just kind of astounding how this is like one of my favorite songs. Didn't make it. It's just kind of astounding the amount of songs that aren't going to be in this game. Like Levin Polka is not going to be in the game. That's a weird choice. That's like a fan favorite song. But yeah, that's basically where we're at. Sega made a really interesting song list for the Switch version of the game. And again, just for a reminder, if you're watching the video, right now I'm going through the list of the songs that aren't in the game. So it's interesting, the songs that are in, they seem to be the more modern ones, but the older ones, or the arcade version ones, which are probably more specific, they aren't in. I don't know if it's an assets thing, because they're the arcade version. Originally, I believe one of the quotes was when the PS4 game was being made, that it was kind of like a tough transition for them. This is one of my favorite songs, and it didn't make the cut. They said that it was an asset issue trying to make the arcade version of the game on PS4. I don't know if that's also become an issue, trying to make the PS4 version of the game run on the Switch. If you actually look at their newest trailers, the Sega put out just today, October 18th, you actually see like little jaggy edges everywhere, kind of in the gameplay that they show. So perhaps it's because obviously if the game is going to run properly, it's going to have to run 60 frames per second, and they're going to have to lower the resolution somehow. So my guess would be that, maybe they're having issues with streaming all of the assets together to load properly. Some of these games, even though they're older, probably the coding isn't perfect or whatever it is. I don't know. But for those of you who are Project Diva fans and have been playing the PlayStation 4 version, there's just a lot of songs that are missing. Granted, this was a given. We knew that. Sega announced it. We knew that there were going to be a lot of songs missing. But I mean, they're asking full price for this game, So a lot of people who are going to be hoping to see, the majority of these songs, they're just not gonna, which kind of sucks. So yeah, there was another point that I wanted to bring up earlier when they were talking during the interview during Tokyo Game Show, that the developers talked about. It had to do with memory. I don't remember the specific quote. Oh yeah, this song, Dear Coco Girls, not being in there, it's ridiculous. That song is super popular. Old one, but it's super popular. So yeah, I don't get it. They talked about perhaps having to do with the SD cards, the cartridges for the Switch, perhaps being too expensive to make games on it or whatever. They talked about having memory resource issues, or having to put too much on a cartridge or what. It was all in Japanese, obviously, so weirdly translated efforts that I saw online. People talking about how they mentioned that it was a memory issue for them to put maybe all of the songs or a lot of the songs on the cartridge, or to put the entire song list, for example, from the PS4 game onto the Switch. I don't know how accurate those translations were, but ultimately, them basically cutting out half the song list on the Switch version definitely shows that a lot of these maybe it's an asset issue, or maybe it's just ultimately a memory issue, that they had to cut out so many songs that are just not in there. And again, a reminder, every song that you're seeing that I'm scrolling by right now and stopping on, these are songs that are not in the game as of yet. Whether they ultimately release a season pass or confirm through other means, downloads or whatever later on, to add all of these songs, maybe, but so far they haven't said anything about that. Another interesting thing is that all of the EX versions of the songs on the PS4 version, they are in the Switch version. And another thing that I showed in one of the previous videos that I made was that you can have the PlayStation 4 button prompts, square, circle, triangle, all of that, show up on the Switch. So that's, that's not a problem. Shouldn't be an issue. People who are used to playing with the, PlayStation 4 button loadout or layout, you're gonna be able to do that, no problem. So yeah, we're getting to the end of the songs that aren't Like the Wind is one of my favorite songs actually lately that I've been playing, and it's just not in the game. It breaks my heart to see. Again, so many good songs didn't make the cut, but again, it's one of those understandable things. We knew that all of the songs weren't gonna make it. It just leaves up to kind of up in the air, which songs eventually are gonna make it. Which ones are they gonna add in post launch? So yeah, that's basically it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'm really looking forward to the game, but a lot of the songs sadly are missing. So yeah.